I'd like to ask a follow-up to that. If it doesn't pass, are there things that can be done executive branch only that would move us in this direction more towards national health care? In other words, are there legislative bypass strategies, antitrust initiatives and prosecutions, et cetera, that could be used?
Yeah, there's a lot they could do. They already have passed the health information technology thing, which Sue is working on, and the comparative effectiveness research. They still have control over Medicare, and on an administrative basis, they can do a lot. They can make a lot of changes to the Medicare program and start disciplining doctors and that sort of thing. So, yeah, administratively, there's still a lot that they can do. Do you want to talk about HIT there?
Sure, I would just add, quite frankly, and even though I'm friends with all of these free market groups and I run a small Institute for Health Freedom, I still think what's missing is a really good proposal with, I come up with 3 C's, but maybe people could even come up with something better, with these constitutional protections. I mean, that guarantees that any health reform plan isn't going to override what your rights are. And I'd like to see somebody draw a line in the sand and just say, every time Congress crosses this line, we're going to sue, or just make sure this doesn't get passed. And I think what's happened is a lot of free market groups, and I've been busy on this, on the health privacy issue, but I think we've gotten caught up into the policy. We need to step way back. And the 3 C's that I've come up with are consent, contract, and confidentiality. Consent meaning nobody can, perform genetic testing or any procedure on you. That's well established in the law. The right to contract, that's well established in law. And then confidentiality, which has been established at the state level for quite some time. So we have a lot of good state laws that could be strengthened, I think. But I think there needs to be some new, fresh ideas proposed. I really do.
Yeah, let me just add one more thing to that, which is a 4th C, continuing the growth of consumerism in healthcare, and talk to your employers if that's how you get your coverage, about changing their policies. In fact, I wrote a paper not too long ago, my 2-point plan for healthcare reform. Point 1 was give the money back to the people. Point 2 was get the hell out of the way. And we can do that today. We don't need laws to make that happen.
Can I just add one thing?
Actually, we have them. It's the Bill of Rights. The laws you're talking about are already in place. They're just not taken seriously. And
Jerry, one thing just to add, realistically, but if I were in office tomorrow, I mean, this is great, come up with a new plan, but practically and realistically, I would just like to see the laws changed so that you can buy a catastrophic plan across state lines to just get true insurance and get back to true insurance. I think that's probably one of the best first realistic steps we could take.
You say we must stop this bill. How?
Oh, I don't know. Keep on doing what you've been doing. It's been working really well. And even though the Finance Committee passed something, I mean, it's
not over.
It's not nearly over. In fact, the Finance Committee barely kept their committee together, and that was the most conservative bill of all of them. There are blue dog Democrats, and there are moderate Democrats, and there are plenty of people that are going to find it really hard to support anything more liberal than what the Finance Committee has done.
Dr. Lessman, actually, you're the one who said we must stop this bill.
Yeah,
so.
that was my line.
Okay.
And in your packet, there's a sample letter to contact your representatives. I encourage you to use your own words to that. Bear in mind when you mail letters to D.C. because of the anthrax scare, it takes forever to get there, but you can fax it. And just get online, know who your representatives are. They're the most responsive to you, but also the other ones that are in key positions that are making calls on the vote. So you just got to be in their face. And when there's these organizations like the 912 group, when they went down there, join those, show up. I mean, that was such a marvelous display of true grassroots people who really care about America. Not violence, not to be obnoxious, but to say, hey, we care about our country. and we want to do things right. And that's what we're about here. That's what these speakers are talking about, and that's why we gave you that letter. So,
this presentation will be on the internet, on YouTube. So one thing you can do is, if someone who wasn't able to make it here this evening, you can forward the link, put it on your website to get ammunition to people, intellectual ammunition, right? Not violence. Freedom-loving people aren't violent people. There was a lot of violence at the G20 a few weeks ago. I don't see any violence here, and I've never seen one at a Tea Party or at any of these town hall meetings. Let's see, next. I'll say handwriting matters. When you decided in second grade, I really need good handwriting, this is the time when there's index cards. What is your opinion of the effectiveness of tort reform? I've heard the savings could be up to 17%. It's a jump ball.
Yeah. CBO just put out something saying it'd be, I think, $58 billion over 10 years. I don't know. 17% seems very, very high to me. CBO seems low. It's probably somewhere in between there. It is interesting that they are specifically avoiding dealing with it. I guess you know who runs the Democratic Party.
Under the Baucus health care bill, will Medicare patients be permitted to buy supplemental insurance as they now can?
Oh, sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, sure. In fact, you'll need it more than ever, probably.
What is the most practical and effective way for individuals to stop the current health reform bill from passing? I think we've covered that, but you may have, some other brilliant idea may have occurred in the
Just one other thing,
60
in
seconds.
addition to what Hans said, don't forget the district offices, particularly for members of Congress. It's hard to get down to Washington. It's hard to send letters to Washington because of the anthrax scare and all that sort of thing. Those restrictions do not apply to their district offices, and you can always stop in the district office and talk to whoever's there, hand deliver a letter, and the staff in the district offices absolutely freak when agitated citizens come in to visit them, and they let the Washington office know right away.
Yeah, show up in person, you get noticed.
Yeah.
It's not just a pile of faxes in your one sheet, right?
they have multiple offices too, so you send it to every office,
Right.
Right.
not just one.
How many senior citizen congressmen have opted for their public option, Medicare?
I have no idea.
And actually, I don't think they have a choice. They have, if they want their Social Security or their retirement, they're going to have to sign up for Medicare Part A at least.
Yes, Sue is the author of a wonderful book about Medicare.
Medicare's midlife crisis?
Yeah, and I never knew until I read Sue's book that you're not, that if you try not to get Medicare, you forfeit your Social Security benefits. And that was a shocking revelation to me. I never knew that. And if that book is still around, it's still worth taking a look at. Lots of good information in there.
But I should add, there's a lawsuit right now challenging that regulation, and the website is medicarelawsuit.org, just one word, and you can read about the lawsuit that's pending right now